Oh, no, the Derek Moore panel was great.
You guys
Derek's
for
hilarious.
coming.
Oh, yeah.
So nice.
All right, so.
Is it on? Hello?
Ooh, hey. Hey.
Nice.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey.
Is this on? Am I on?
You're
You're on.
You're,
Am I
you're
turned
always on.
on?
You're always on.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
4 minutes in and the panel's already gone to hell.
It's gone to hell. Come on, you know. Have
So-
you met me?
I guess my first question is cranberry and vodka or Crown Royal?
The greatest thing about having Harry, first of all, let's give it up for Harry Bean. Who's amazing.
Thanks, guys, I appreciate it.
And we love your panels, and yes, vodka cranberry. Thank you.
Make that too.
No.
All right, so I guess let's go ahead and start out by telling the audience, what have you guys been doing lately? What are you up to? What are your current projects, future projects?
You got a lot going on, girl.
Well, thanks for having us. We appreciate it. We love being here at Chicago Days of the Dead. It's definitely my favorite. I love them all, but this is amazing. And as far as projects go, I just wrapped Terrifier 2, so I'm super excited. I worked with my friend Summer Flynn, who's right here. She's a Chicago resident, and we did Crave together in, where were we? In Dallas. Last week, I have no idea where.
Last week, yeah.
And just a bunch of films. I just worked on a Lifetime movie last week, and I have a creature feature coming out called Big Freaking Rat. So some fun projects coming up.
Same. I have a show on Apple TV right now. I think I'm in the 3rd or 4th episode called Truth Be Told with Lizzie Kaplan and Octavia Spencer. And then just some upcoming stuff hopefully coming up soon. Can't really say yet, but hopefully some good stuff.
Awesome.
That means you guys
And then my
are-
daughter is on a TV show called The Rookie. If you get a chance to see it, she's playing Nathan Fillion's future daughter-in-law. So it's a kind of fun show. So it's this season on ABC. So give her a plug.
So you mentioned the Lifetime movie, is that right? What you
Yes.
saying? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It's called Evil Twin. I love Lifetime movies because it's the same crew generally, and you just, you walk in and everyone's family. It's kind of like a convention, and I play Nurse Rita. And I deal with the nice twin. And
Sounds like trouble to me.
I'm feeling ill.
hang on, let me get my thermometer.
Never mind, I'm feeling better.
Did you hear about the guy who hired a nurse to change? This is a real life story in the news to change his adult diaper because he had something wrong with him, but there was nothing wrong with him, and apparently she came back 10 times, and now there's like a lawsuit.
Oh, it's funny you say that because I hired a babysitter
She
to
don't know
come babysit, and I told her, the kid's upstairs asleep, don't wake them up, we're good. And then when I came back, I'm like, where's the kid? She's like, what are you talking about? I didn't have a kid.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
legit.
you're gonna have a lawsuit.
I feel some new Lifetime movies coming out.
Sorry, guys. Just remember that.
Oh, that's goodness.
All right, so
Wow,
by
these are
the way,
strong.
before you drink that, it is Thanksgiving time, so it is pumpkin pie vodka and cranberry juice. So it's,
That's why it smelled
I
different.
know it's Thanksgiving
Harry Bean's
dessert
trying to kill
drinks.
us. This is strong.
That's strong. That's good though.
Keenan.
Well done.
That's Keenan.
If Felissa
Hi.
says strong.
Yeah, if I say it's strong, I know that. It's crazy.
Man.
I just want to say hi. There are 3 people here I'd like to say hi to. They're an amazing family that I've gotten really close with, and they are terror threads. Olivia, Caitlin, and Rick, and I just want you guys to give them a round of applause because they make the most amazing merch, and I want to thank them from my heart. Thank you for all that you do. And please check them out. Check out their booth. They have beautiful t-shirts and sweaters, and they're amazing. The artwork and everything is beautiful. Love you guys.
Yeah, love the vendors, man. I mean, the vendors that we have here are just amazing. I took a walk through the vending room earlier and was just blown away by not only just like some of the artwork that was going on, but then just the different types of booths that were. I mean, you know, you got one dude who's got swords and like 2 booths down. You've got CBD Dragon, and you know, I mean, that chick's super cool, by the way, and she taught me a whole bunch about CBD. I didn't know. But,
Really?
Yeah, but so let's get to Sleepaway Camp real quick.
What?
So there's this movie I want to ask you guys about.
Yeah, what's it about?
Well, I wanted to ask you guys about stunts and how much of your own stunts you did in that film, because, I mean, there were a few scenes where it looked like it was pretty physical. And I mean, how much of that did you guys do all your own stunts? Did they have stunt doubles?
I lifted this little chica off the ground multiple times and threw her in that lake. So that was all me.
No.
She's just a little tiny thing, so no problem. No
I was
problem.
a chicken.
I just was scared to hurt
Now I
her.
can throw
It's
her
like-
in the lake.
So you're picking someone up over you, and I'd never done that. I was 17, 18 years old, you know. I just didn't want to hurt her, throwing her over my shoulder. But, you know, you're in a scene and your adrenaline goes. So we managed. We did it.
And the first time, it was my first movie, so I didn't know what I was supposed to do in that moment when the director said, and action. So I started, Caitlin, close your ears. I started beating the living out of her. I was like, get down, you
Punching my back. And,
I'm like kicking her, and the director's like, cut! What are you doing? I was like, I don't know, what did I do wrong? And he was like, don't kick her. Like, you have to be gentle. And I thought, well, how am I supposed to make it look like, it's called acting, how am I supposed to make it look like I'm really angry and I don't want to get thrown in without kicking? So that was the beginning of learning how to act. But it was so fun, you know.
It was.
There were no stunt. It was 1982. We had no
yeah,
stunt doubles.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, the main reason I was wondering was because of the water balloon scene.
That sucked. That was awful. They were really throwing those water balloons at me, and I had to, and fall. And I was like, okay, and fall. And we'll just do it 10 more times. It was like a joke.
They had the scene wrapped on the second take. The other 8 were just for fun.
They were just messing with me.
Exactly.
So, I tell you what, let me go ahead and take a couple audience questions real quick, and I'm gonna fix me one of those while we
Yes.
ask questions. All right, so who's got a question for these ladies?
Come on, we know you.
Right over here.
Felissa, one performance in Sleepaway Camp that always stands out to me is Aunt Martha. And what was it like for you acting with her? And it's like keeping that stoic expression.
She is batshit crazy, that one. In fact, Jonathan Tiersten, who plays Ricky, that was our first scene. How many people have seen Sleepaway Camp?
Is everyone here?
Oh,
Yeah, oh wow.
Well-
Wait, she didn't raise her hand.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you have?
Okay.
Sorry. So we had to do that scene first. The first scene with Aunt Martha was the first scene we shot. And Jonathan Tiersten said, get me the hell out of here. This one is a lunatic. But Robert, the director, kept telling her, bigger, crazier, more insane. And she was going with it. She was terrific. And I just thought, I'm making a movie.
Aww.
I'm making a movie. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I couldn't believe it. I had no idea what she was doing, but I was super happy. So, you know, it felt really fun. But she was Richard Angela. I was like, what are you doing? She's great though. I think she's the real monster of the film, isn't she?
Yeah.
You know, she's definitely the craziest character we have. Thank you. And scene. Bye, guys.
And back to one. All right, how about another question? You want out there?
Anybody? Any burning
Oh,
questions?
come on.
We know you have a lot. Come on. Oh, Summer.
When did you know that it was getting its second wind?
Oh, I didn't know till like last year.
10 minutes ago, she
Yeah,
said that.
I didn't know. I would get
When I
you know,
cried?
fan mail or requests or stuff, and I kind of didn't really, you know, had kids. You're doing work, you're doing other stuff, and I kind of really just didn't pay too much attention to it. Every now and then, someone would stop me and say, "Were you in this?" And I go, "Yeah." And then a couple times I lent the DVD out, and I never got them back, and I'd order another one, and I still didn't think anything of it. a couple times she or someone would reach out to me, do you want to come to a con? I don't know what that is. No. I just didn't know. I had no idea of this incredible world. And then finally a year ago, I did my first and was completely blown away. You couldn't explain it till you're here and you understand it and how much everyone loved the movie and what a following it had. I had no idea. And it's brought me more joy this past year than anything in a long time. Just meeting everybody and talking about it and realizing what an important part you were in this. It's been amazing.
And let's give Katherine a round of applause. She's the original bitch, you know? She is the OG bitch.
M-E-G.
And what's amazing is that not only was her performance as Meg so fantastic, she is the most loving, lovable, beautiful, adorable person I've ever met.
Takes one to
and
know
so,
one.
no, it's, well,
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about. So it's amazing to spend these weekends with her.
I feel the same way. Like
So-
doing this, I get to spend time with this amazing lady has been, and a friendship is like inseparable.
I owe you
now.
50. I'll give it to
Okay,
you
okay,
tomorrow.
So Katherine is the original Mean Girl,
Yes. Who knew?
and you can't sit with her.
Huh?
And you can't sit with her.
That's right.
She's the original crying game.
That's right.
what?
Oh my God, it just got deep in here. For those that didn't hear that, he said, she's the original crying game.
It's true.
Oh, damn.
She is.
We were
So-
before Crying Game, yes.
Right. So let's touch on that topic for a little bit because, I mean, at that point in time when Sleepaway Camp was put out, that was kind of a no-no topic. You know, the whole, transgender thing was just something people didn't talk about, 2019, it's a very open topic. People talk about it, and it wouldn't be as controversial in 2019 as it was when it came out. So, in that contrast of where we are now versus where we were then, how does that affect, the movie that you guys made? I mean, as far as your, I guess what I'm trying to say is when you're looking back at this movie and making this movie, where it stands in today's culture is so not where it was back then.
Yeah.
What kind of effect do you think that movie had on just allowing people to be able to talk about stuff?
Well, certainly it was ahead of its time for 1982. We weren't really seeing this in film. I was fortunate enough to just, something that I do have coming out that I'm very proud of is AMC and Shudder and Fangoria have come together and we have a new doc on queer horror cinema. So I'm completely thrilled and honored to be a part of it. I do feel that Sleepaway Camp was one of those movies where we hadn't seen two men, in a relationship. It was, on screen is just a very wonderful relationship. And we weren't marginalizing these characters, these people, these relationships. So I think, I know there's a lot of controversy about, the film itself, and was Angela trans, is she trans, is she, what was happening? I feel like we're people. She's human. Like, we're always trying to figure it out. It's like, yes, Angela is trans, and she was bullied severely, and I believe that the reason she was killing the people who were awful to her was because of how horribly picked on she had been. So it didn't matter what her sexual orientation or how she identified, her gender. She was just miserable with the people surrounding her, but she had a beautiful heart and was a beautiful person, and I hope that people can see Angela in that way. That's how I believe that, she came about. So I'm thrilled to have played the part, and I'm happy that it's accepted and loved today. So thank you guys for accepting this film that we made in 1982.
All right, so have you guys thought of any questions yet? Or should I keep going? Because I'd actually really like to talk to you about your ties with Slayer. We were talking to Derek Mears just a few minutes ago, and he's studying philology, and he was in the music video.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh yeah, Felissa, she did some directing, producing work on that stuff, and was it 2 videos?
Yeah, I produced 3 videos.
3 videos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you tell the fans a little bit about that?
So, does anyone like Slayer? Do you know Slayer? Have you seen the
Oh, wow.
Repentless videos? They appeared in theaters recently for one night only. And I had the amazing task of producing those videos. I'm friends with the record label, Nuclear Blast, and they offered me the job. They said, can you produce these? And I said, let's make horror movies. And they were like, oh yeah, right, okay, whatever. I said, no, let's call our friends like Tyler Mane and Vernon Wells and Derek Mears and Danny Trejo. And we called everyone up, and fortunately we had an amazing director, BJ McDonald, who came up with the concept for each song. And boom, we made these videos, and I will say they were incredibly grueling. It was a task like no other. I mean, I've been producing for quite a while, feature films, and it was unbelievable because we all love Slayer. We wanted to make something fantastic, and having those kinds of actors and the kind of production value they wanted for a music video was a lot. But we did it, and I hope you guys like it, and we had a great time making them.
So, Katherine, we know that Felissa loves music. She's been my co-host for karaoke many times. How about you? Are you a singer? Do you have a favorite genre of music or favorite band? Or?
I am a weirdo. I'm not a great singer, but I love. I can sing, but I'm not a great singer. But I do love music. But I love like Frank Sinatra, ABBA, the Eagles. You know, yeah.
Total.
Freddie
Singing
Mercury,
at karaoke
I mean,
tonight.
yeah.
You know that, right?
I mean, I'm like old. I love like ABBA's my favorite group of all time, and
Really?
oh,
So,
Freddie Mercury.
all right. So you'll have to come down for karaoke tonight. I've got a mix of Dancing Queen by ABBA that I'll play for you.
I will get in my own world and just go nuts. Like you
Oh,
don't
yeah?
understand.
Queen.
Dancing
wanna
Queen's
hear
my
that,
song.
Yeah.
I worked on a mix for, we were doing, it was a 70s disco funk party that I was doing with Corey D. Williams down in Atlanta.
Oh
Corey D.
my
Williams
God.
son. And Corey is one of the just most awesome people I've ever met in my life. You want to talk about just a pure ball of positivity. Corey D. Williams is amazing. But he does this thing he calls Funky Fridays.
Yeah.
So we were doing this like funk thing, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to break out some Bee Gees, some ABBA,
That's me.
and some P-Funk. So I did 3 different mixes. One was Bee Gees, one was ABBA, one was P-Funk. So you come down
I
tonight.
can't wait.
I'm
Can't
not
wait.
playing for it.
Awesome, done.
All right.
Oh,
All right.
fantastic.
So, wow, where do we go from here? So maybe another shot.
I think someone had a question.
Do we have a question
Yeah.
in here?
was
We're
your
looking at each other like, are you gonna ask it or am I gonna ask it?
I'll ask another one.
Please.
The stale face I mentioned earlier, the stoic expression became like such a memorable aspect of the film. Like if I look up Sleepaway Camp GIFs, I find it like Meg and picture the stoic face. So like I was just wondering like did you get the impression that that was going to be such a thing like when you were making the movie, or was that more later?
I don't think we had any idea. I mean, especially I was 13 years old. I was there for the food and the fun
Yeah.
and the water skiing.
I was there for the boys.
You should ask this one about how many boyfriends she had on that camp.
We were there for a while. I dated a couple of
There was
actors.
this one time at Sleepaway.
Yeah, exactly. She was this popular, dating everyone.
But it really was, we didn't know. I mean, especially, I had never acted with someone who didn't talk back. So that was kind of a little different. I'm like, she's never gonna answer me, like anything I say. And he's like, no, never. Like, just keep bullying her and keep doing that. So that was
annoying.
It was different. It was a challenge because I'm like, I just gotta keep coming up with stuff, like, to feel, you know, because she's not giving me anything. So it was, I just realized that, you know, that was something new and different, but great.
I want to know how hard was it for Felissa to keep quiet for that?
It was so difficult, especially when all these people were like in my face. The chef, he's in my face. I would just burst out laughing. You know, they kept having to call cut, like, stop laughing. I'm like, but it's so funny. Oh my God.
Too good. All right, so in filming, were you guys able to keep any kind of mementos or like, like different objects or maybe props from the film? We're past the statute of limitations, so you can talk.
I did ask if I could have my mask, the mask of my face that they did put on the boy at the end of the movie, but Robert Hiltzik, the director, wanted the mask, so he took it home. And I heard it's disintegrated. It was like a little potato chip. But no, I took home like my little Nike sneakers and the red shorts, and I had barrettes that said Angela, so I had those little things. But now Terror Threads makes the Camp Arawak t-shirts, so you can all have a Camp Arawak t-shirt too. Woo! Terror Threads! They're in the back like, oh my God,
They're
somebody's
so
telling me to
embarrassed.
stop.
I know.
But it's awesome. It's fun to see those Camp Arawak t-shirts now,
It's great. I
So
love walking
cute.
around the conventions. I try to always purchase a few things, and I just love looking at everything.
Do you have a Camp Arawak t-shirt?
I do.
Yeah, do you guys still keep in touch with Jonathan Tiersten? Yeah.
We do.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, he's a beautiful person. He does a lot of conventions with us.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. Has anyone seen him at a conventions? He's wild.
Oh, John's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the question is, can you keep a shirt on him for more than 10 minutes?
No, nope, no. He and Ricky is
Love
so
that.
I
fun.
hadn't seen him in 35 years, and I saw him last year, and we just kind of fell into each other's arms and hugged, because they were all kids. I was older, and they were all kids, and so seeing everyone again has been just
You were a teenager
incredible.
too.
I was a teenager too, but 13 and 17, 18 was a big difference then. So, so seeing him again just felt like we'd never been apart. It was really lovely, really lovely. Yeah,
Excellent, excellent.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think last year, I'm trying to remember which one it was it Days of the Dead Indy, I think, that you were at? And it was one of the first conventions that you had done.
Yeah.
And I asked you, I'm like, so, what do you think about all this? And you're like, I don't know, this shit's wild,
It was
man.
wild. I've never seen anything like it. But now I've fallen in love with it, and I realize what a special place it is with people who share something so special, and I share that with them. And it makes me feel so good when I'm getting ready to come to one now, and when I leave, I'm so satisfied. I feel so happy. A little drunk, a little hungover, but happy.
No.
A little bit.
No.
I don't know why, who
not
I'm
me.
hanging out with, but it's just so fulfilling to talk to people. To talk to people and it's something that's mine. Before I had a husband and kids and this other career of stuff and life, it was mine, just me, without anyone else that's here in my life now. So to come back to that is so special to me.
Well, and you get to hear like all the stories from folks that, come up and tell you about how, they were an outcast or this happened to them and this and this and this. And this movie saved their life or changed their perspective or made them identify with who they are. That's gotta feel pretty damn amazing.
Incredible. She told me that would happen. I didn't believe it, and it really is. It's just I cry so much in talking to people because it's so emotional that you touch somebody. It's been amazing. I know you get that a lot. I see that.
It's crazy. The most beautiful thing about the conventions is just connecting with everyone and really listening to, where other people come from and their stories and how they feel. And it's amazing to me that we made this small little movie and we all connect somehow through, these emotions of, we've all felt insecure and, maybe left out, or especially as a teenager. So that's the beautiful part of Sleepaway Camp. I think we can all talk about that and relate to those feelings.
So looking back after all these years, reflecting on your characters, if you had the ability to change that character or change something about that character's personality, is there anything that you would have done differently then, knowing now what you know?
Why did I have to talk like this? I was like, I thought you were the killer. I hated listening. Or one scene, I'm like, and it was a serious scene, and they were like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to see my cousin. I'll be back before dinner. So awful, so embarrassing. I can't. Don't throw me in the water. It's terrible.
I think I would have gone even more, been even bitchier and worse if I could have as the character. Because I think it would have been even better, just to even you know, but I don't know if it was in me.
She'd have thrown you in the water.
Yeah, I just
twice.
feel like I get
I've
now.
given her
seeing-
that curling iron
Yeah,
twice.
well, I don't want that. No, thank you. But I get now.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. But I get now, because then we didn't know really what we were making. But now, looking back at it, I was like, oh, I wish I would have even gone further. You know, now I understand what he wanted.
No, you were perfect.
Oh. But yeah.
So, do you guys remember about how long filming was for Sleepaway Camp?
It was 5 weeks.
It was 5 weeks? Okay. Because, like, I was talking to Amelia Kincaid and Linnea Quigley about Night of Demons, and they, like, from beginning to end, wrapped that movie in, like, a week.
What?
Yeah, and they were filming, the craziest part about that, they were filming that movie in South Central Los Angeles in the early 80s, like, at the height of, like, all the gang, like, horrible shit going on. Yeah, and they, I mean, maybe that's why they wrapped it in a week. Let's
Really
get money
fast,
out of
yeah.
it, you know what I mean?
I don't know.
But, so 5 weeks, that's still a pretty grueling schedule
It
for
was
filming.
long, yeah.
What was the filming schedule like? Was it like real long days? Did you guys like, I mean, did you have plenty of breaks? I mean, how'd that work?
No, we worked 5 days a week. We worked from morning till night the first 2.5 weeks, and the second 2.5 weeks we turned the clocks around and we worked through the night. So we slept during the day and we did all night shoots, and that was grueling because anytime you have to turn the clock around, it's just horrible to your system.
So
You can't
hard.
sleep during the day. You just can't.
You
So
get maybe 4 hours.
yeah.
It's so hard. And I was doing All My Children at the time, a soap, so I was going back
she
and
was
forth.
on All My
I was going back and forth, and so that was kind of a little tough, but still great. I was so happy to have another job too. It was like amazing.
I was a
but-
huge fan of hers.
Aw.
She played Pamela Kingsley on All My Children, another bitch. And she was
Brunette at the
so
time. If you were brunette in
good.
the 80s, you
Yeah.
played a bitch.
Hello.
You did, yeah.
Hello. It's true.
Yeah.
We were typecast.
Totally.
We were the evil
Yeah.
people.
I was just about to say typecast.
Yeah. That's,
But you're so good at it.
Well, you know, and that just goes to her acting credibility
right.
because
That's
for
right.
somebody who plays just a horrible bitch, Catherine's one of the most sweetest people I've ever met.
really is.
thank you.
And I'm not saying that just because you got her sitting next to you. She'll kick my ass. No, Mary's scared of it too. I get it. All right, so at 5 weeks of filming, was there any particular scene that you were just absolutely mortified with that was just like the worst part of the entire experience?
It was the shower scene for me because I was sick. I've told this story. I was really sick with the flu, and the water wasn't that warm, and my
Was it
mom
cold?
came down. It was a
Was
little
it
cold.
freezing?
A little cold. It wasn't
Yeah.
freezing. It wasn't
Let's
freezing.
let it all
It
out
wasn't
here, Catherine.
freezing.
Nobody's gonna tell anyone. Was it freezing?
It was.
Did you hate it?
I didn't like it. When
It was
you're
the 80s. They
sick,
pumped it
you have the
straight from
flu,
the
you have a fever. My mom came down. Was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, and it was at night, and the makeup on the back took hours, lying on a cold floor, and all that stuff. And but then once it was done, you see it, you're like, and it was just hard because it wasn't like there was a knife going down my back. He was just directing me where to turn and where to scream, and you have to make up a song to hum, but it can't be anything anyone's ever heard of, and there's just a lot. So I just remember it being a little like everything was sort of fun and easy till then.
So there was no date with Mel then?
No, she never got those lips. Never got them.
Oh,
Very sad.
my God. So weird.
That goes into a whole creepy other story.
Not you, beg my neck.
I'm sorry to ask this, but like, so the character who played Mel and everything like that, honestly, on set during those days and everything, was he like a really good person, like sweethearted a person, and how he worked well with other actors and everything
Totally.
like that?
Totally. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
He was very sweet.
Yeah, really good guy.
Everyone was.
Yeah.
Even the chef.
Yeah.
Artie.
No egos.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
real
that's
nice.
disgusting.
He was
He
so
was so
disgusting.
good.
So gross
Yeah.
and so sweet.
Yeah.
Once again,
Did you know what?
tribute to great acting.
Yeah, they were all really good.
Yeah, that dude was crazy.
Except that doctor who's taking the, this is weird, but and random. The guy, there's a doctor taking the chef out, and he's like, God, just, does anybody remember?
Oh, yeah.
He was so bad. He was like, jeez, he's burned so bad. No. Sorry, that was so funny to me.
So, do you guys know about, as far as that scene with the water coming over, was that a dry ice prop, or did they just pour boiling water onto like an empty floor?
They built that pot. There's no such pot in the world that big. And they did have dry ice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've tried to figure out how they would have done
You
that.
tried to buy that pot and boil water?
Well, I mean, you can make some shrimp gumbo for like 100
Be
people in that
good.
thing, man.
We
But,
did eat in that kitchen with those fly strips. We ate the food. We ate that corn. No, I'm not. I know you all want to laugh. We ate
Yep.
the food
Yep.
from that
Yeah,
scene.
that's right.
It's delicious. No, it was gross, but we did eat it.
Yeah, like I said, I watched it a couple times trying to figure out how they would have reenacted that, whether they would have actually just poured boiling water out into like a pit or trough or something, or whether they would have done a dry ice. But yeah, that whole scene, I remember watching it back then just being really disturbed by the whole scene, but at the same time, extremely happy that it happened. Yes, he got it.
Yeah.
Excellent. So 5 weeks of filming. Is there anything in particular that you remember from that filming that you would just, was like your absolute favorite part of the whole filming? Just man, this is even better than doing the movie. Anything you've taken away from the movie?
Well, I dated Jonathan Tiersten, who played Ricky, and I thought that was the greatest thing that ever happened to me on the planet. I was so, you're 13, and I just adored him. So that was really fun, dating him while we filmed. That was my favorite part.
Great, now we're never gonna fit his head in the door.
It was just fun being with kids your age too, and it was like camp. We went
Yes.
bowling. I feel like we went bowling.
We went to a hot air balloon festival,
Yes.
me and you.
Yes.
Me, Katherine, and Karen, who played Judy, we went to this
Yes.
hot air balloon. And we also went to the movies and we saw Amityville.
It was just like being at camp. It
1982.
was. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
We were
went to
staying
the
in a
movies.
motel, right?
We stayed in a motel.
Yeah.
It was nasty.
Yeah.
And there was a laundromat, a movie theater, and a bar.
Yeah.
It was super
Yeah.
weird. But fun. You're kids. You're
Yeah.
having the best
You're
time.
with kids your own age.
But they had a lot of parties. They didn't invite me. Yeah. They had a lot of parties. So when I made Return to Sleepaway Camp, Yes, thank you, sir, thank you. So I made up for all the partying on Return to Sleepaway Camp.
So we've obviously talked about the contrast of your characters. You're absolutely nothing like your characters in the movies. How much mental preparation did you have to do to become that character, since you're so different than who that character is?
I was used to it because I was playing a bitch. So for me, it was not. I was just, this is what I guess this is what I do. So
Just clocking
I
it.
just, yeah. So there wasn't too much. It was hard to be extra mean to someone so sweet. She's just staring at you and everything. A little kid. That was different. But I went on for years playing bitches. So I guess that was my thing for a while. Damn.
I just really liked playing Angela because I thought she was someone who was so sweet and, vulnerable. And I think as an actor, you always want to find something that you love about the character. And I thought, like I said, I felt like she had a big heart, had been through such trauma with her family, dying in the boating accident. So I felt like I was taking care of a child in playing that role. It was almost like I was looking at her as someone else, and I wanted that fear and that hurt to come through.
All right, how about audience questions? We have any other audience questions?
There we go.
There we go. We got one right back here. About 4 rows back. Don't turn around. I'm talking to you. Yep.
So what did you feel about Sleepaway Camp 2 and how that all went? Did they offer you anything as far as trying to come back to Sleepaway Camp 2, or is when they hired Pamela Springsteen and all that? So I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, they came to me with the script and they asked if I wanted to read it. And I went and met with Michael Simpson, the director, and I sucked. I was so bad. Because, the lines were so different. I knew Angela as this quiet, sweet, vulnerable person, and then all of a sudden she's cracking jokes.
On that, right? Yeah.
So it was a completely different character. I didn't understand it, and I had just gotten into college, so I really wanted to go to school. I wanted to, learn how to really act if I was going to pursue it as a career. So it was kind of it worked out perfectly where Pamela was amazing. I went off, I did my schooling, and it's kind of like one of those things that all worked out the way it should.
All right, how about Red Bird?
Oh, I was gonna ask a similar question because I like Sleepaway Camp 3 actually is my favorite sequel, but I was gonna ask if you actually watched it and liked it, what you thought.
I love them. I love the sequels. I love Pamela. I think they were hilarious. She's fantastic. I'm a huge fan, so yeah, I love them. My husband's favorite one is part 2 out of the whole series.
I haven't watched them. I will though. I will like in the coming weeks for sure.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Sleepaway Camp
yeah, I
3.
will. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
So, after the movie was made, everything was ready, it was released, did they have like a premiere or anything for you guys to go to? Or did you guys get a chance to sit together and watch the movie at all?
Remember? Yeah.
I brought my whole 8th grade class to opening night in the movie theater. So I was with my family and my classmates, and we all went like this at the very end, including myself. Even though I knew what was coming, it was almost terrifying to see that final shot because I wasn't there when they filmed him, the boy. So it was interesting. But we had a big party at Panache, a nightclub in Manhattan. Were you there?
I don't
I have
remember.
pictures with Jonathan.
Wow, I'm
and
sure I was, but I
I'm
don't
sure you were.
remember,
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
I think you had a headband on.
Yeah, oh yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I wore headbands a lot then. In the 80s.
So, do you remember what you thought about the movie the first time you saw it?
I loved it. I mean, I thought it was great. I think I loved it. I mean, I was like, this is great, you know, and I did take the original poster from the movie theater, which I took, and then, because I just knew, like, something, I was like, I want to have this. I think this is special, and I took it when no one was looking late at night out of the glass, and I have it framed in my house.
Oh my gosh, that's
You saw it,
she's
right?
the sweetest person on the planet. But she stole the poster from the
I'm a
movie
New
theater.
Yorker.
Like,
Chicagoans understand this. That's what you
She
do.
took the poster.
That's how you take it.
Yep.
I can't.
Back.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
I mean, as a collector of movie posters, that one sheet would be amazing to have in
Really?
your collection. Real business.
Yeah, I know.
So, have you had anyone autograph it? Or is it just...
I didn't. She came over a couple weeks ago, and I thought about it, but I'm not sure I want anything on it yet. I can't decide.
I was trying, I had my Sharpie out. She was like,
I
no!
don't know yet.
Step
No,
away
yet.
from the poster.
No.
Melissa, how many times
I had to hide it.
I'm like, no, please, let me just make that little heart.
It had to be hidden for years because my daughter was terrified of it. And I promised her I'd throw it away, and I was like, I'm not throwing it. My husband was like, throw it away. I'm not throwing it away, you know. He's from Australia. He didn't know what it was. I've never heard of this. What is this movie? I don't know. I throw it away. I was like, no. And so we hid it, and then we couldn't find it ever again. And he only found it maybe a few months ago. It was in the attic under a lot of stuff, and he pulled it out, and yeah. So, but yeah, it's amazing.
That's pretty. That's actually possibly the coolest prop
Really?
piece of memorabilia you could have on that film.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, those one sheets are super, super rare, especially for a film like Sleepaway.
Yeah,
Because nobody expected it to be a
to be
total
right,
exit.
right,
Yeah.
right, true.
All right, so I saw another question. Was it Summer? Did you have a question?
Well, Felissa, you told us how you feel about Angela as the character. How did you feel about Officer Jerry?
So, has anyone seen Return to Sleepaway Camp? There's not one. There's one person. Thank you. Oh, Libby, thanks. So, playing in Return to Sleepaway Camp, I play the sheriff. I play man. I was in makeup for 6.5 hours every day, and then 3 hours to take it off. So, I was able to film about an hour a day. But I worshipped that character. And it's funny, I was discouraged by many friends and managers, and don't do that, don't. And I thought, you know, I'm an actor, and I really love playing something interesting, you know? So for me, it was a wonderful experience. We were back at camp. It was, you know, Jonathan Tiersten, Paul D'Angelo, who plays Ronnie, Robert Hiltzik, the writer-director, and we just had a great time kind of like reliving those days that we had on the first Sleepaway Camp. And I really like Sheriff Jerry. You know, the weirdest little sheriff you'll ever want to meet, but it was so fun. I had like a voice box and I was up like, oh, really. Thank you. Everyone's like, oh my God.
It was a say no to smoking campaign too.
Yeah, it was a no smoking campaign, definitely. It was so super fun to be in that. I was in prosthetics and wigs, and they would they had this machine that painted me like veins and all kinds of craziness. Yeah, they even made a penis for me. And they put it. Caitlin, cover your ears. And they put it. They would leave it in my wardrobe room. So when I put my costume on, they had the penis there. Is that interesting?
What is it about that movie? I
I-
put a penis on you.
All right. I
And
know
I
I saw
have it at my
somebody.
table, so everyone wants to come and see it. Oh no! What are you doing? Are you doing a shot?
I'm pouring me another shot.
After that, it's always fun playing these weird characters.
All right. So, you guys have both done a gigantic catalog of different projects. Not counting Sleepaway Camp. What is your personal favorite project that you've ever worked on?
Damn it, he's gonna ask a serious question?
For me, it's Victor Crowley, Hatchet 4. So I had the best time making. Has anyone seen Victor Crowley? Yes. Aw, thank you. It's Hatchet 1, Hatchet 2, Hatchet 3, and then Hatchet 4 is called Victor Crowley. And Adam Green wrote and directed all of the movies, and I just really enjoyed working with him, working with the cast. My character is batshit crazy, and it was super fun. The entire filming and the entire experience was like a dream, really.
How about you, Kathy?
I mean, I would say about a dozen years ago, I was a regular on the remake of Dragnet with Ed O'Neill, and I got to play a detective, and that was amazing to have sort of a regular role and have a gun and run after, and he taught me so much. He really mentored me a lot, and because there's a way when you play a cop, it's kind of like on nighttime TV, it's you have to speak a little fast, but I speak so fast anyway, and he really taught me sort of how to do that and be clear. So he taught me a lot, and that was, right before Modern Family, so it was kind of amazing to have that time with him and stuff. So I love that. It was like home for a year. So
I gotta ask about Ed O'Neill.
Yeah.
How is he?
he's great.
Is he as cool as he seems
He's
like he is?
totally cool. He would go, I think afterwards sometimes he'd go to a bar and have a drink, and I think he just had a young kid at the time and had just got married. But he was great. He was nice to everybody, so professional, never late, knew his lines, like helped the younger actors. He was awesome.
Yeah, well, I was told once that you should never meet your heroes, and so
Oh,
I
I know.
purposely stayed away from trying
Yeah,
to do
no,
that.
he's good. He's good. Yeah,
That's good stuff.
good guy.
Good stuff. All right, so Felissa, at one point in time, you were doing a podcast with Shep and Tiffany Shep's.
Yeah.
Are you still doing the podcast?
Yeah, so Kay and Hodder, Tiffany Shepis, and myself do a podcast for Fangoria on the Fangoria Podcast Network called Casualty Friday. And we finished season 1, and now we finished season 2, but they haven't announced it yet. So we did season 2, and I have to say we get more emotional, more aggressive, more deeper. It became, season 2 really, I think, is a lot more rich than the first season. So we had a really good time. So if you get a chance, you can check it out. And there's YouTube footage as well. It's on YouTube. You can watch us sitting around bullshitting with each other, and we have genuine friendships. We're super close, and it's fun. We talk about conventions and all of our friends, and it's just a great time.
Yeah, no, it's a great podcast. If you guys have not checked it out yet, please do. Absolutely hilarious.
And Joe Bob Briggs, if I can just throw that in. If you guys check out Joe Bob Briggs, The Last Drive-In on Shudder, that's also my favorite place to be. And season 2 is coming, and maybe there's some surprises that are gonna happen.
I'm gonna take a second real quick to say thank you, because with the first season, you were talking to Joe Bob,
And he's like, so, you know, convention circuit, you're doing all kind of stuff. And you're like, oh, Days of the Dead's the best parties ever, DJ Muzz, blah, blah. And I'm like, did she just she just didn't really say that, did she? And then next thing I know, like text message and Facebook message, and my phone starts blowing up, and they're like, yeah, Felissa's throwing out mad shout-outs on Joe Bob's show about Days of the Dead having the best parties. Oh, damn right. Meanwhile, I'm like, can you believe she said that? That was awesome. So thank you very much. That was
No, thank you for
that
being
was
so
awesome.
amazing. I love Days of the Dead, and it's the truth.
You know, we're family here.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So, do we have any other questions for these ladies before we wrap up tonight? Yes, sir, for her.
I was just wondering, what was the rest of your 8th grade like after seeing the movie?
Oh, shit, I was going to ask that question because 8th graders are mean,
And then the second
man.
part is, I want to say I'm happy you turned out fine.
Aww.
Thank you. I
Totally
appreciate
normal.
that.
Sean, greatest tattoo artist, gave me my first tattoo.
Yay,
Amazing.
Sean.
Hit him up. You want one? He's incredible.
Yes, great tattoo artist.
So about this 8th grade school year, let's hear the dirt.
Did you get lots of dates or lose friends or?
8th grade was really difficult. I went back and the girls were mean to me. And they said, let's throw gum in her hair, let's call her names. But a different group of girls came to my defense and were about to kick the asses of the original group of girls. And so it all worked out in the end.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I don't want to say 8th grade was rough or anything, but this kid named Harry Bean, man,
Oh, boy.
I couldn't imagine being in your shoes.
Oh boy.
I never thought about that being your name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you did this shit to me in middle school, y'all. You're like, that dude's fucked up. No, that's why.
Yeah, middle school sucks.
Y'all were mean.
All right, guys. So I would like you to please do me a favor. Put your hands together for Miss Felissa Rose, Miss Katherine Kamhi. You guys, please stop by their tables, get some photographs, get some autographs, buy some merchandise. And ladies, please come see us again at another show, so that way we can do shots and have fun. Tonight, karaoke. Like, here's the thing. What I was actually going to do is I was going to end this panel and go right into our first karaoke song. I know we
Dancing Queen.
should have, right?
Should have asked her
Dancing
what's her
Queen.
favorite karaoke song.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I already know what her favorite karaoke. No, okay, hold on. We're not done yet. I have to tell this story, okay? I know you're gonna be so pissed off when I tell this story. But so we're doing Days of the Dead in Indianapolis, right? And if you are filming, please stop for a second because I don't know who the dude was.